Hi there, I'm Tony Reese, and welcome to another episode of If These Walls Could Talk. And as always, I am in the iconic and beautiful Abraham Lincoln, and it's an honor to be here. And my guest today is Jeanette DeAngelo, who is the president of Reading Civic Theater. Welcome to this show.
Thank you for having me, Tony. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, Jeanette, take a moment and tell us a little bit about you and the work that you do.
Okay, well, I'm currently the president of Reading Civic Theater, and I also am the director of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which just happened to be here about 2 weeks ago. We were blessed with the opportunity to perform that show in this beautiful venue.
How did you end up with that production here at the Abraham Lincoln?
Well, interestingly enough, we had been looking for a venue for our production of Joseph. Normally, let's just say within the last 4 to 5 years, we've had this production, our September production, done at the Miller Center. And we were not able to secure a weekend for this past September. So I met with Alan. We had a lovely meeting, and I asked him if he would consider allowing us to come into the Abe Lincoln and use the ballroom for our production. And he graciously accepted to partnership with us. And so because of him and his giving us the opportunity to perform here in this beautiful ballroom, we did that 2 weeks ago. It was a success, and I spoke with Alan maybe just a week ago, and I said, you know, Alan, I cannot thank you enough because we were homeless for that particular show, and we would love to do it again sometime.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Alan is Alan Shuman of Shuman Development Group, and I had the pleasure of speaking to you for a few minutes before we were doing the interview, and you were telling me that even before bringing the production of this show, which is a great show, to this facility, you had history here. Mm-hmm. So can you talk to us a little bit about that history?
Right. Well, I was fortunate enough in growing up. I grew up in Reading, and there were many wedding receptions that I attended in this amazing ballroom. And even as we're talking right now, I'm kind of getting like chills and somewhat emotional because this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous,
stunning
venue. And well, anyway, going back to your question, so I attended many wedding receptions. I also had the opportunity to spend a few class reunions here. I graduated in 1967 from Reading High School, and so I don't even remember what reunions they were, but I think we had 2 or 3 class reunions here. And then oftentimes when we would have those class reunions here, many of us would get a room when it was the hotel, so that it would make it just much more convenient for us to, you know, attend the reunion and yet be able to stay later or perhaps gather together in what was then the, I can't remember what the restaurant was called at that time, but oftentimes the reunion would get done and then we'd go over to the restaurant, stay till maybe 1, 2 o'clock, and then we would be able to just go up to the room and you know, party a little bit more, you know, spend some time with friends that we hadn't seen. And then the other thing that I remembered was we also had, Reading High School also had some proms here. And because I'm a retired teacher from the Reading School District, I made it a practice for many, many years to come and see the kids go into the prom. So I would stand in the lobby and watch the couples go in, and the girls' beautiful dresses and the guys in their tux. So yeah, there's a lot of history that I can remember from this place.
Well, Shuman Development Group is trying to and has succeeded in bringing this iconic place back to life, and there's all sorts of activity that's going on. So to bring and bridge the gap between the history and the legacy, to have it be a place where now the community gathers and to have it be where the community gathered to watch this production of your show, that must have been quite an experience.
It was. I was really looking forward to having the community get back into this building. And I thought us doing a show here would be a great opportunity to bring the community back and make them aware of the fact that it's still here. You know, I think some people think maybe it's not active anymore, or whatever they might be thinking, when in fact I will attest to the fact that this place is busy, because I had my daughter's bridal shower here, and that was both nights when I was here preparing, and the next day for her shower. This place was filled with parties and gatherings, and that was just one weekend. And you know, we were able, during our show, I believe we had about 600 to 650 guests come to see the show, and many of them said they didn't even know, you know, this place was still operating.
Well, it was beautiful. We actually were here Sunday night of the weekend that you were running, and to walk in and see the way it was set up and the stage, and it was vibrant. I mean, there was a heartbeat in this place that was amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think it does for this community to allow spaces like this, collaboration like this, to be able to reach out and say, yes, you know, if you don't have a venue, do it here? Well, doesn't that just foster goodwill all the way around?
Yeah, of course. And we are, Reading Civic Theater is a Reading-based community theater. And it's no secret that theaters are struggling, and we go from show to show. That's how we survive. So for us to be able to bring a production into a venue like this, with Alan Shuman's generosity, allows us to continue for maybe another year, a year and a half. I mean, we hope we're here for another 100 years. Reading Civic Theater is over 100 years old.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah, I think it's like 104, 105. I'm just not sure. But it allows us the opportunity to do one or two more shows, you know, that maybe we wouldn't have been able to do.
So one act of gesture of goodwill pays it forward and forward and forward.
Absolutely.
And that's amazing. I want to ask you this question because I've been listening to you prior again to this interview and through the interview, and I love this question and I can't wait for your answer. But if you close your eyes and you think about what if the walls could talk, what would they say? What did it feel like when you were here? What if these walls could talk, what would they say?
Okay, so I have a couple things, but something just came right into my mind. I think the walls would say, thank you for bringing this venue, this ballroom, back to life in a manner that probably nobody in Reading would have thought possible. I think that that's what they would say, because I was able to be in this ballroom by myself quite a few times when I would be waiting for my cast or my staff or the crew to come in, and everybody should have the opportunity to be able to sit in a place like this alone and just take it all in. And I think that's what the walls would say. I think that the community had an opportunity to see a theatrical production somewhere where they probably never would have thought possible. I know certainly for myself, I didn't know how it would all play out, because yes, it's not a theater, it's not an auditorium, but the final result was, I thought, wonderful. It was wonderful for our theater. It was wonderful for the community, and had the community, and then the walls would be able, I think, to say that during that time frame, they felt a love and a passion that possibly they haven't experienced. I mean, a community of theater people is exactly that. They're a community, and they love what they do, but they also know it takes the team to make
Right.
it all possible. So I think, it was an opportunity for the community to see a theatrical production here, right in the heart of the city. And Alan Shuman, I think, realized that, and that's why he said, let's have this partnership and let's do it. So I think, I really think the Walls would have a lot to say, and I think they would say it was a fun time. It was gorgeous. It looked like a theater. It was beautiful. I never expected it to look as beautiful as it did. And I want to just reflect on one thing, that when we were doing the beginning of the week, the lights. We used a lot of lights because it was Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, so it was filled with different colors of light. And when the gentleman that was doing the lighting put the lighting up on the stage, which was that way, the lights reflected on the chandelier and the ceilings, and it was just gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
I love that the word gratitude has come out, that there is a sense of gratitude that this place has come back to life. There is a sense of gratitude that you were willing to, without knowing what it was going to look like on the flip side, you were willing to say, let's give it a shot here, and the gratitude of the legacy of this building and the community building that's happening. So I cannot thank you enough for sharing that experience with us on If These Walls Could Talk. And Jeanette, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.